Okay, so the TCL 20 SE. Now we've already covered the TCL 20 Pro 5G and also the TCL 20S. I was finally able to start testing this guy here a few days ago, so the SE here a few days ago, and I've been using it as my secondary phone, and I wanted to share with you my take on this guy here. Let's go ahead and jump in. As always, of course, major shout out here to TCL for sending this review unit for me to play around with it and test it out and share with you my genuine take on this phone. Of course, this is my way of telling you that this is not a sponsored video. All right, so it's a budget phone, but it definitely does not look and it doesn't feel like a budget phone. Number one, it's huge. It's 6.82 inches. That is a gigantic screen, and this guy here is going to run you $189. That's the reason I said, it's a budget phone, but when you look at it, it doesn't look and it doesn't feel, and it's not packed with features that you'll be expecting from a budget phone. So that's already a good plus there. Now, one thing I wanted to add here is that as of today, as of the shooting of this video, it looks like Amazon ran out of stock on this guy here. I'm not sure if it's just too popular, but I couldn't find it. But either way, just keep an eye out for that in case you're interested, so that as soon as they can replenish that stock, you can pick up one. So $189 for this guy here. Very good pricing here on this phone from TCL, as always. Of course, in terms of build and design, it certainly has a very nice look to it. As I mentioned, made of mostly plastic, so don't necessarily expect premium, but at the same time, don't expect it to look or feel cheap at all. It has kind of just this very subtle shimmer on the back here, which is kind of typical with some of the devices that TCL makes, and it looks pretty cool on the light, when you kind of just move your phone. Now on the back here, I want to talk about this camera module that you have here. It's a quad setup here with 48 megapixel for the wide angle. You have 5 megapixel for ultra wide angle. You have 2 megapixel for depth and also 2 for the macro lens. Now on the front, you have a 13 megapixel camera for selfie, and overall they're not bad at all, especially at $189. I would actually say that it's actually pretty good for something that costs $189. For the front, the display there, as I mentioned, it's a huge, you do know I have huge hands, right? So it's a really tall and big and large phone. Actually, just to tell you how big this phone is, the battery on here is 5,000 milliamp hour. That is just massive, and that is a very good thing to have on something that you're going to spend $189 for. Now, as far as the display goes, so the resolution on this guy here is going to be 720 by 1640, so definitely on the budget side in terms of just the specs of that display. Now, if you are familiar with TCL, then you may be familiar with their Next Vision technology, so you would be expecting kind of just that 720 type of level of image, but that Next Vision actually enhances that image and actually makes it's bright, it's fuller, colors are a little bit more vibrant than your typical 720p. So your YouTube videos or your movies, they would look good on here. Obviously, if you have like an OLED display, I don't know, Galaxy S21 Ultra, and you compare them side by side, and obviously you'll be able to tell the difference. But if you just bought this phone and you have this phone alone, it's a very well made phone, and the display also, because TCL is known for making great displays for their TVs. They apply that same Next Vision technology on here to enhance that display and also enhance just the user experience here. Now, in terms of just the physical, we have the usual suspect, like I like to call them, right? So your power button on the right here, volume rocker, of course. Then we do have a Google Assistant button on the left side here. We have a SIM tray. On that same side at the top, we do have the headphone jack. At the bottom, of course, we have a USB Type-C and a dual setup for the speakers. Going to the back, of course, we do have a fingerprint sensor there, and you have kind of a flush back here, right? So, in a lot of these things, you would have a fingerprint sensor on the back here. It might be a little bit sunk inside there, but here it's fairly flush, but it still works pretty well. It is running Android 11, and you have TCL UI, of course, sitting on Android 11. Now, this guy here is powered by a Snapdragon 460. Again, it's a budget phone, so don't expect a Snapdragon 888 on this guy here. So, and it's also coupled with 4 gigs of RAM. You have a base internal storage of, in terms of performance, just based off of those specs, from what I've seen, it's actually pretty nice. It's pretty snappy, you know, it's pretty smooth. You can scroll through. I haven't experienced any type of, you know, like stuttering or crashes or any type of lag so far. You know, so far it's actually been pretty good. Now, as already mentioned, it's a pretty big phone. And of course, like I said, the battery is 5,000 milliamp hour, so it lasts a good while. And looking at what comes in the box here, what you will get is the phone. Of course, you'll get the manual, the SIM tray tool, and as TCL is so accustomed to doing, you will also get a pretty nice goodie in here, which is a free transparent case for it, for the phone, so that you can already start by protecting your phone from scratches and all that from the get-go. You will also have a power brick along with the USB Type-C cable for your phone. So if you are looking for a budget phone, this is actually a very, very nice alternative. Again, at $189, a gigantic screen, you know, Snapdragon chipset in there. Not the top level, but it works very, very well. I think this is definitely a go for people looking, you know, for just like a day-to-day phone and they want something with a large display. Anyway, that's my take on the TCL 20 SE here. Pretty nice budget phone. I certainly hope that this was informative. If you have any questions, of course, please feel free to put those in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in that comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.